Welcome to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jess and James.
Let's remind ourselves of why we're here, okay? So, this is called the speak to sell formula for a reason. Because we're selling people on two things. Number one, selling them into however they work with us, all right? But before you get someone to buy your physical product or service, there's something more important that you need to sell them on. Not just you, your message, your concept, your knowledge. Yeah? You've got to sell them on that. Even when you're teaching people, you're going to learn that in a moment. There's two ways of speaking, speak to sell and speak to teach. They're two different things. But even when you're teaching people, let's say you're not selling something to people. Maybe you've just been taught, you're teaching someone. You've still got to sell them on what you're saying, otherwise they won't buy it, right? So, speak to sell formula has 5 essential steps that's going to help you become a phenomenal speaker. Number 1, state. There are 2 types of state we're going to be working on whilst you're here over the next 3 days. First of all, your own state, because it's important you manage your state before you go and speak to people. So many people get here and then they try and manage their state. That's what rookie speakers do. Professional speakers manage their state before they get on stage, before they go on camera, before they get seen. Okay? So I'm going to be teaching you some techniques that will help you always be ready. All right? It's like when I was on TV, when I had this camera crew. By the way, it was brutal, the filming for that show. For some of you who watched it, it was brutal. Like they were with me from like 8 o'clock in the morning, sometimes through to 11 p.m. at night. And literally, the reason why they filmed so much is because they just thought I could speak for hours. And anyone who knows me knows that I can speak for hours. But one of the questions they asked me is that, like, do you need to get ready? Do you need to go and, like, you know, get into state and this and that? I'm always in state. Well, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah. And I want you guys to have that, because you never know when you need to speak. So as they say, don't get ready to speak. Stay ready. Just stay ready. Okay. Second state you need to control is your audience. Now, raise your hand if you agree that in this room right now, there are lots of different beliefs and values, lots of different ways of looking at the world in this room. So how can you possibly control all of that? You're all wild, loose cannons. How do I control you? It's difficult, okay? However, there are certain things you can do as a speaker, certain body language movements, certain words, certain things you can get the audience to do that will help bring them together and in alignment with you. If you don't manage your audience's state, they will never buy into what you're offering. They'll never buy into you. You've got to take control of the room. It's very, very important. Now, you have to. If you don't control the room, people are not going to be able to work with you. Now, who's been to an event before where someone in the room's been disruptive? And who's also seen the speaker allow them to carry on being disruptive? Not at my events. If you don't do that, it will mess up everything at the end. Yeah? Remember, this is speak to sell. This whole 3 days is how do you take your concept and have people pay you money. Yes? Money for it. If you allow that one person, think about this, right? Imagine this was an event where I was putting this on to sell to absolutely everyone. It's a free event, whatever you want to call it. And I spent so much money, time, and energy to put everyone here. And because of one person in the room, I lost all of my sales. How would you feel? It's terrible. So, don't take this the wrong way, but you're living for that moment where you close the deal when you're here. Don't let anybody spoil that. Your room, your rules. If someone is sitting down listening to you, they have made the choice to listen to you. Am I right? Yes or no? You're not holding them hostage. Okay? So if what you're saying up here doesn't vibe with them, what options do they have? Fuck off. Yes, that's one option. The other option is be open. Yeah? Give them the choice. You've got 2 choices. You came here because there's something missing in your life, clearly. Perhaps if you listen enough, you might find out what that is. Or you can leave. It's entirely up to you. And I have kicked people out of events before. But that's more, by the way, just to manage expectations, that happens more when people don't know you. It happens when they've just met you, like at a free event or a webinar or something. It happened to me the other night. I was doing a webinar to one of my friends. Does anyone know Simon Coulson? Simon Coulson? You might know him. Internet Business School. So he asked me to do a webinar to his list. So he asked me to present to his list and make them an offer to come and work with me and things like that. Jesus Christ, I hated that webinar. Most of them on there were get rich quick. I want to make money now, make money now. One of them had the cheek to say to me, can I hurry up and get to the point? Oh boy, did she get it in public. I asked her to leave. And I told everybody else on this web class, please leave right now if you are just looking to smash and grab and make money. I'm not your guy, and I'm not going to be able to help you, nor do I want to help you. So please leave right now. And I watched like 1, 2, 3, 4, all these people left the room, and I was like, good. Get rid of the shit and focus on only those who are here, okay? Here's a tip for you. We're going to be talking about selling. On day 3, I'm going to unpack a video of me on stage, and I'm going to dissect what I was doing and how I managed to close £100,000 worth of business in 90 minutes, okay? Here's the thing though, when you're selling, delete the people who don't like you in the audience. When you go into your close, look, we've all been there before, right? You're about to make an offer, and there's people there who you just know don't like you. You can see them. As a speaker, you see them. They sit like, I've run events before when people are just staring at me the whole time like this. Yeah? You've got to delete them, otherwise they affect your state as well. All right? Next thing, story, which I alluded to earlier. Here we're going to learn how to tell your story. When you tell your story correctly, people will want to buy from you before you've sold. Think about that. And your story needs to be done in a way that inspires people. Why should your story inspire people? If you've done it, maybe I can do it. Yeah? Here's the other reason, because it ties in with state. We don't have a lot of time to build as much rapport as we can with people to get them in tune with us. Okay? What can I do to their state? Elevate it. Have them feel happier. Have them feel more inspired. Okay? So your story must do 2 things. Number 1, have you become the authority on the other side? So once you finish telling it, they go, that person's the authority in what they do. And number 2, it must demonstrate clearly why you do what you do. So remember, you guys have written down why you do what you do. Some of you haven't really dug deep enough. Don't worry. I'm going to take you through a process to help you identify what's the real reason. But if you don't show people why you do what you do, it's not going to change their state. Now, truth be told, will there be some people in the room when you tell your story that actually don't care about your story? Yes. Are they your people? No. Here's what I want you to do. Be yourself here. Be yourself here. You're not here to serve everybody. That's absolutely fine. And please, I gave up on that years ago, trying to please everyone on stage. I just want everyone to like, I'm not a bad guy. What's that what's their problem? Just delete it. People are just projecting their own crap onto you, okay? So tell your story well. Next, your solution. Now, who here is very good at talking about what they do over a cup of coffee with people, but when they need to tell everybody else, they can't do it in a systemized way? So, and I know some of you worked on this before, but for those of you who haven't, you've got to create a solution for people to buy into, a roadmap. A way of them actually following direction from you, so that you never have to blag what you're saying ever again. All right? Like, for example, so when an investor comes and speaks to you, for example, you have your way of doing things, right? You have your way of talking to them. Am I right in saying, though, that conversation is never the same? It kind of differs to investor. Yeah? Now, the challenge with that is, would you agree, perhaps at some stage, you'd like other people to go out and raise investment for you, you don't have to do it? Yes? Yes? Good place to be? Yes. Enjoy time with your family, money comes in, you go and deploy it, absolutely good. Yeah? So the best way you can do that is to create a system for somebody else to follow. So it's consistent. It's consistent. That when it's more consistent, you don't have to blag it and make it up anymore. All right? So we're going to create a system for you guys to be able to speak on. We're also going to identify your topic. There's no point being a speaker if you don't know what you want to talk about. Okay? You've got to have a topic that you want to talk about. All right? And then next, once you've got a system, I need to show you how to teach it to people in a way that helps them to buy. Remember, you are here not to create your course. This program is not for you to create a course. You will create the fundamentals of a course. You're not creating a course. What you're creating is your speak to sell presentation, Whether that's a 60 minutes or 90 minutes or a 3 hour, it doesn't matter how long. It's a presentation that's designed specifically to help people buy from you. All right? So how do we do that? By not feeling sleazy. We serve. We give. But I'm going to teach you how not to overgive. Please understand, if you give too much in a sales presentation, you're going to lose on the other end. I know it feels good. Like you're going to go, yeah, that person's making notes. Like they feel really good. Like honestly, I've run events before where at the end, people come up to me with their notepads and going, yeah, can you just give me some more information? No. Pay. Okay? You've got to invest, all right? So you don't want to overcook it, because you are losing if you do that, all right? So the serve and sell matrix is a specific system that allows you to give just enough information to make them go, wow, that sounds amazing, but not enough for them to go away and do it themselves. And then lastly, sell. We're going to focus on how do you sell from a platform, whether it's on stage, whether it's on a webinar, however you do that, all right? But here's one important thing that you must understand. There's a reason why I've called my system the congruent close method. It's because how I sell and how you sell are two different things. Some of you might sell like me, some of you might sell like Liam. Like Liam, when Liam first met me, obviously he came to me and said that, you know, Justin, when he wanted to launch his training company a bit more and do more public speaking and doing this and doing that. And what I realized quickly about Liam is, obviously some of you who know Liam know this already, is that the guy's an absolute beast. He's a freaking animal. Like, he's like a machine. He just doesn't, everything I said to him, he's off, he's doing it. But what was good about that is that he allowed me to take what he's already good at and amplify that. So how he sells and how I sell are two different things. I can't teach you to sell like me. I need you to sell like you. Now, look, some of you don't want to go on stage and have loads of thousands of people in front of you. So it'd be wrong of me to teach you just how to sell like that. So at the end, on the last day, I'm going to break down how do you work out how you sell, not how I sell. I'm going to show you how I sell. Some of you are going to go, bloody hell, I want to be able to do that. Some of you are going to go, oh my God, I could never imagine doing that. Yeah? And that's absolutely fine too. But I want you to find your authentic self when you're selling. Here's why. Because if you don't, you'll end up being somebody else here and somebody else out there. Don't be a fraud up here. Don't be a fake. Be who you're meant to be. All right? Good. So, the difference between speak to sell and speak to teach. Now, the format formula, by the way, isn't mine. It's a system that was designed by a lady called Bernice McCarthy many years ago. Bernice McCarthy. And it was essentially a way of, when you're serving people and sharing information with people, you know, it was like a method to how information is shared. Okay? Now, speak to teach. So when you're speaking to teach people, you need to, number one, please write these down. Number one, tell them what it is that they are going to learn. What it is they're going to learn and what it is they should be doing when you're teaching people. Here's what you're going to learn. Here is what you should be doing. You're next going to tell them why they should be doing it. Now, here's the psychology behind this. People will do something for you if you give them a reason why. If you don't tell your audience, if you don't connect that dot, here's what you should do, here's why. If you don't connect that dot, they're not going to be sold on the what. Let me give you a perfect example. If I was in a supermarket, if you were at the front of the queue and you've been queuing there for ages, and I turned up, I jumped past the whole queue, and I came to you and said, can I go in front of you, please? How would you feel? Frustrated, get lost, get to the back like everybody else, okay? I didn't give her a reason why. What if I did this instead? Hey, I'm so sorry. my kid is about to wet himself, literally, like he's 3 years old, and I don't have a change of clothes. Can I pay for this one item, please, and take him to the toilet? Go. She let me in. What was the difference? I told her what I wanted to do the first time, but I didn't tell her why. The second time I did what? Gave her a reason. She was more receptive. Think how many people you've spoken to, leads, prospects, who have not really explained why they should be doing what you're saying. Think about that. That alone will make you more money, my friends, and help you have more impact, okay? Next, the how. Remember, this is speak to teach. So once they know what, once they know why, we now deliver the how. That's your system, by the way, your signature solution. We'll talk about that later on. But now we give them the how. This is how you do it, all right? And then you also need to handle the what ifs. What ifs in a teaching situation gives you the opportunity to allow people to ask questions, okay? You will notice during these presentations, like this, I often say any questions at the end of a slot, okay? Why do I not ask questions during a sales situation? Because he or she who asks questions is always in charge. And when you're selling, who's in charge? Okay? So some of us give our clients too much opportunity in a one-to-many situation to ask questions. Now, have you ever been speaking and someone interrupts your flow? You're speaking and someone like puts their hand up or wants to ask a question, okay? What happens is there's two things going on there, okay? There's something about your flow that opens a gate that people think it's okay to interrupt. Think about that, okay? Because that used to annoy me. I used to, stop interrupting me, okay? But I take ownership of it. Sometimes I'm speaking and I pause just long enough for someone to go, I can jump in. It doesn't mean I need to speak like this the whole time. If I keep on speaking like this, you guys will go crazy. If I keep speaking like this, it'll be mad. But there are certain pauses that you make sometimes that there's a flow that you're going through that allows people to interrupt. That's one, okay? But the other thing is this. In a sales situation, if people ask questions, it changes the energy in the room. It interrupts your flow. So I'm going to teach you on day 3 how to deal with when people ask questions in an audience and how do you squash them there and then, okay? Because you've got to stay in control. But when you're teaching, you have to ask this question. What if? What if it doesn't work for me? Or what if it doesn't go the way it's meant to go? Give them an opportunity to ask questions, all right? That's speaking to teach. This is once someone's already bought whatever it is that you're offering, okay? Next. I know there's some variations to this, by the way, because especially like if you're dealing with investors and stuff and things like that, there's a different situation. But we can cover those later on. Now, the real reason why you're here is speak to sell. In speak to sell, there's only 2 things we're going to do. Number 1, we are going to teach them what. Here's what you should be doing. Now, the what is your signature solution. It's the different steps that you take, yeah? The different steps around your system. And then, why? That's it. When you're selling, it's what and why. Here's what you should be doing and why. Here's what you should be doing and why. What do they need to do if they want the how? Many of you are giving people a lot of how, and you wonder why you're not getting any sales, yeah? That's why, because they honestly feel like they can do it themselves. They feel like, thank you very much for that. I'll go and give this a try first, and if that doesn't work, I'll come and see you later. That doesn't help you, okay? And it's not just help you, it doesn't help them, does it? Let's be honest. Do you truly think they're going to be able to do it on their own? No. So you've let them down too, all right? So if you want people to get results, don't give them how, okay? There are slight variations to that. There are slight variations to that, which I'll come on to when I teach you. But you need to make sure that they go away thinking, bloody hell, I know what I should be doing, and I definitely know why. How do I do it? Come and work with you. That's what you need to do, okay? Good. There we go. If your audience wants to know how, then they pay you, okay? Good.
You've been listening to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jess and James. Don't forget to subscribe and follow on all the channels. Links in the show notes. Please also leave a review and visit www.jessandjames.com to find more resources on how to create the life you deserve.